Hello and welcome to Unit 3 of World History A. This unit is so much fun and there is so much information here for you guys. It just almost makes my brain explode to go through it. So, you need to make sure that you have downloaded the focus notes for Unit 3 from my website. And you need to make sure that you're going through this with me because it is fast and furious and all over the place and it's hard to tell what's what and what goes with what. And anyway, super fun though. Super fun stuff, okay? So, first of all, Renaissance and Reformation. We've got a ton of things that are being discovered, a ton of things that are being reformed. There's just a ton going on. Okay. One of the things that we talk about is um, the Renaissance and humanism and humanism and just everything that's going on with the Renaissance, and they brought back a lot of the idea of rhetoric with public speaking and a lot of the Greek and Roman classics, that had been lost for a certain amount of time. But I really love the idea of bringing back this public way of speaking. I think that's super fun. Then we also have the Spanish Inquisition, which is not so much fun. And this is and this is all out of order, completely out of order. This is something that the Spanish did to answer the Protestant Reformation, and it was the execution of Protestants, Muslims, and Jews. And the idea was to try to keep the church, the same as it was, and obviously it didn't work, and we still have many other churches still today because of what happened. But going back in time, okay, stick with me here. Martin Luther, you've probably heard of Martin Luther. Martin Luther put his 95 Theses on the door of the Catholic Church. And he wasn't trying to make a reformation. I think that's really interesting to make the point of, okay? He was saying, hey, I don't like these things that the Catholic Church is doing. I don't like the sale of indulgences, the whole money lending thing, and the papal corruption, and all the stuff that's going on in the Catholic Church. He was a pope, guys. He didn't want to do away with the Catholic Church, okay? It was his livelihood. So that wasn't his goal. But those eventually did lead to the bringing up of another church that was against the Catholic Church, okay? Um, Another thing is, and this is so huge, I remember I graduated high school in the year 2000. I know that totally dates me. And I remember that a Time magazine came out to talk about the most important invention ever that had happened up to this period in time. And the whoever was in charge of Time magazine, I don't even know who was in charge, they decided that the most important invention was Gutenberg's printing press. And I happen to agree with them because it was a really big deal. It improved the flow of information, and it led to the rise in literacy. It led to people being able to read the Bible. That was huge. Okay, there were so many things that happened because of this Gutenberg's printing press. So I totally agree that it was a very important invention. All right, so I've kind of gone a little bit backwards, and I apologize for that. I'm just telling you, it's a bunch of really amazing stuff that's going on. Okay, so what you need to do, I'm giving you kind of a lead into the project. Okay, what you need to do is go to my website and you will go to the page about Unit 3, the Renaissance and Reformation. And here are the movies that you can watch. It's super cool. And then here is the stuff about Project 3. Okay. I don't I've gone back and forth and decided whether I should make Project 3 like super interactive and a completely new thing that you can do and stuff. And I've decided not to reform Project 3. Ha ha ha. And just to leave it as it is. So, this is the project, okay? The Renaissance, which means which was a cultural movement that occurred in Europe from 1300 to 1700, means rebirth. What was being reborn? Culture, political organization, and economics, and everything really. During the Middle Ages, European culture was dominated by the Catholic Church, and government and the economy was feudalistic. And this began to change in the 1300s of the 14th century and the institutions that govern Europe and later its colonies began to recognize the modern era. The years 1500 to 1800 are considered the modern era, and the Renaissance is what transformed medieval Europe into the modern era. So it's just that little bit of time, just a few hundred years, that made it what it is today, honestly. So you can choose to submit a presentation instead of an essay, or you can choose to do an essay, whatever you want to do. Okay, but you need to keep it to about 600 words, 600 or more words that explain how the Renaissance transformed Europe and the world between 1300 and 1800. Your essay must address three of the following topics and how it has affected you or the world. Talk about artistic, cultural development, political, government development, economic development, religious development, scientific and technological development. And obviously those definitely have things to do with each other as well. Okay. So this is your typical 5-paragraph essay, and you're going to just go through and talk about the events and how it affected you or the world. Okay. I need you to have a very strong thesis statement that covers, what your essay is going to be about. I need you to have 3 topics with events, explanation, and its effect on you or the world. And then I need to have a good conclusion that wraps up everything all together. And I need your sources to be in MLA format. Have I shown you this? I will show you really fast. So if you need to do MLA format, let me show you. This is what you do, okay? You go to this little explore button right here, and you're probably not really going to look for your sources here, let's be honest, but you could put your sources here if that's what you want to do. Okay. And typically, okay, so you want to learn about the Renaissance in Europe, okay? And so this is what it comes up with. Okay, Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a good source if you use what's down below. Don't use the actual Wikipedia, okay? But let's say you looked at this and you read through it and you decided that everything was accurate and you really like the source, okay? And it's from history.com. So anyway, so then what you need to do is his cite as a footnote. You need to click on this, and if you click, how do you do it? Anyway, and it will cite it in MLA format right here. So then you just take one of these and you copy it and you paste it in your project. It's no big deal. Okay? Does that sound cool? If you have any questions or need any help, please do not hesitate to ask me. I've also given you on this website a timeline fact list. I've given you a timeline as well that you are welcome to use. I have a lot of resources that are on my website, okay? So go ahead, click around, see what you can find, okay? If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.